And we have some more things we need to do. And we've gone to someone as our final guest who is working on a thing called Inner Peace. Her name is Dr. Zuleyha Keskin. She is, of course, the course director and senior lecturer for Islamic Studies of Civilisation. She's also a co-founder of the Islamic Sciences Research Academy of Australia. It's otherwise known as ISRA. And I think the last time I caught up with Zuleyha was when we co-hosted Ramadan Conversations about a month ago. Time flies when you're having fun. Zuleyha, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, George and Fatih. It's lovely to be here.
Welcome, Zuleyha.
Thank you.
Fatih has got something for you to start the conversation.
Okay.
I mean, George, one of the things that we probably left out during the introduction is that while Zuleyha's research focuses on inner peace, she's one of those few people whose inner peace reflects onto their face. And so, when you look at her, there's always this calm and collected and, reflective stance. So welcome, Zuleyha. But I just wanted to ask you, you've mentioned your work on inner peace a number of times, but what was it that actually inspired you to do that work? Why that topic?
Yeah, look, there's probably two things that inspired me to focus on inner peace and dedicate a whole PhD to it, and then to write a number of articles on the topic. I guess one of them is, I've read the works of Said Nursi, a 20th century scholar, and, you read many books. And when I looked at his work, I noticed that he had a very positive approach to life. And, this was despite the challenges that he faced in life. So this is someone who had been sent to exile, who had been imprisoned for, cases that were never proven. And he talks about, actually in his own words, I've lived for 80 years, but I haven't lived any moment of pleasure in those 80 years. But yet, he seemed to always put a positive spin to things, and he seemed at peace in his writings. So I think I wanted to hone into his work. So that would be one thing. But the other thing is that, when I look at, I guess, society, I just realized that, despite being materially comfortable, we are not always happy in society. And, in Western society, where we've got many of the comforts of life, we still have challenges. So much so that, 1 in 7 Australians experience depression in their life. 1 in 4 Australians experience anxiety in their lifetime. According to WHO, 264 million people are affected by depression. Just 2 more stats I'm going to give you. 800,000 people die due to suicide every single year worldwide. And it is the second leading cause of death in 15 to 20-year-olds worldwide. So, with all these factors in mind, I just thought I want to delve into this. And secretly, I want to get inner peace, attain inner peace myself. So maybe there was a personal, selfish side to this as well.
Zuleyha, can I just take that conversation and feed you something else and see how you respond? For me, I've spent a lifetime working in an industry that required me to appear to be calm on the outside. Like the swan on the water, or the duck on the pond. Everything looks peaceful and calm, and yet underneath you cannot see the enormous work going on to stay balanced, to stay poised, and stay above water. And I ask you, for me, always it's been about attitude. I think attitude is the key to finding an inner peace, because that allows you to do everything as an obstacle that you can overcome, not as a challenge. Sorry, see it as a challenge rather as an obstacle. When people see things as an obstacle, they stop. But when you see it as a challenge to overcome, then I think we're better armed for that. We're better prepared. We're always teaching people about resilience. As a mother, you're teaching the children to overcome their challenges every day. If you told them that they had enormous obstacles to overcome, that would be harder, wouldn't it? So isn't it about attitude?
It is.
I'm trying to establish.
Attitude is one word and perspective is another, and that we're probably talking about the same, same thing there. It's about how you perceive a situation and therefore the attitude that you take on in that situation. I think that really can change the whole experience that one has. So, when you're faced with a difficult situation, you can see it as, well, this is my chance to grow. This is my chance to develop myself. Or, if I was to take a negative perspective, I might say, why me? Why does this happen to me all the time? I didn't deserve this. Or, why am I putting myself through this? So your perspective can completely change the way you view the situation and therefore how you respond to the situation. Like you said, I mean, George, you've become an expert in your field because you've gotten out of your comfort zone a billion times. You could have opted not to, but you would have been deprived of so much. So I think it's accepting that those challenges are rewarding. And when we view it that way, we don't have such a negative connotation or association with, challenging experiences. If we did, we wouldn't go work out in the gym. We wouldn't go out for a run. We wouldn't go healthy eating. These are challenging as well, but we do it because our perspective tells us that this is good for us. But, we just need to apply it to other things.
So Zuleyha, I mean, if I'm understanding you correctly, are you saying that what you're proposing is the be-all and end-all to happiness?
I wouldn't. Yeah, look, I wouldn't say it's a be-all and end-all. It's a big factor of it, a big part of it. It's a bit like saying, what do you need to be healthy? You can't just pin it down to eating right. You can't just pin it down to exercise. You can't just pin it down to good sleep. So the perspective is an important part of it, how you perceive a situation, and the benefits that come from it. But the reality is also we need to, consider that some people may have gone through trauma and they may need counselling. They may need medication. So that's why I wouldn't say it's be all end all. I would say it's an important contributing factor to our overall well-being, especially our mental health. But we can't negate that there are other things that may need to be done, other behavioural therapy that may be involved. And this is where we do see there's a growing discipline between religion and psychology. I would say it's fairly new, but it's growing. In the Islamic context, as Islamic psychotherapy is growing, but other religions also, there are theories that have been established saying that religiosity can help people to overcome challenges, and therefore those. We can use religion as a way of, in social work or in counselling, if it suits that person, obviously. But so I would say that it's part of a bigger picture, Fatih, and but an important part of a lot of people's lives that we shouldn't, negate.
Zuleyha, I think if I may, what we struggle with is finding stillness. Now,
Yes.
we know that when the Imam during Ramadan is talking, or we hear the call to prayer, or there's a beautiful song recited, everything is calm around us. There's a stillness. And from that stillness, whatever is being performed or whatever is being said is more powerful and very easy to receive. And I think the challenge for us today in this modern world of ours is to find moments of stillness in all this disruption, in all the white noise. And you talk about inner peace. I think when you see a tremendous performance on camera, for example, in a film, it never ceases to amaze me. If you look at the performance, how wonderfully still the actor or actress is. They manage to bring great strength out of doing very little. And that's the power. And I think if we can absorb that and if we can address it and take that perspective and say, okay, it's attitude, it's about moderation, it's about being in command, we talk about poise, having poise, whether it's balance or whether it's in a conversation. You can get overheated and you lose perspective. Am I on the right track to something, or am I way off mark?
No, that's definitely true. And it's very hard, George, in today's day and age, as you said, where the white noise, we're bombarded with information. And that's why, in a way, this COVID situation, and this is where going back to trying to see, I guess the good in situations. When I say that, it doesn't mean that everything is good, but sometimes you've got to think, well, what good can I get out of this? And one thing that we've found with this COVID situation is it has allowed us to be more still. It has allowed us to slow down, whether we like it or not. So for me, it definitely has. And for that reason, this Ramadan has been very, very different for me compared to other Ramadans where it's been so social and so interactive. So, we do need to find that, and we need to live in that moment, in the moment. And all these things I'm saying, they're not always easy to do. And it's like reprogramming your mind as well. It doesn't happen overnight in a second saying, okay, I'm going to be still from now on. But the more we can do it, and the more we talk about it, and therefore it's good that you brought it up, the more we will be able to do it. So we just have to find those moments where we can just have calm. Maybe go out to nature and, reflect,
Connect.
do all those things
Yeah.
and connect, reflect and connect with nature, and just calm ourselves down, disconnect from social media, disconnect from the media maybe for a little while. We've got to work out our strategies. We all are able to do it in our own ways. We just have to work out what works for us. And at the end of the day, we're all seeking inner peace. Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone wants to be content.
As a mother, is it even more difficult for you with children, having to keep them on the straight and narrow, having to keep them, as they say, away from too many devices, too many distractions, because they all are aspiring to improve themselves. So are you a bit of a captain of the ship, or are you just a really shrewd navigator, planning a different course for them?
I'm probably a very cool mother who's like, you know what, just as long as you guys are happy, that's what matters, kind of.
Stealth.
Because it's,
So you work by stealth.
but it works. They're pretty calm kids, I think. And I try to, and actually once, George, I asked my kids, I said, what's one thing that you've learned from your mum? Because I get them to reflect. They don't always like it. I'm like, it's reflection time now. And they'll roll their eyes like, oh, great. And, one thing that my son said, he goes, it's positive thinking. So it's like this program you try to download onto your kids, for him to say it. And I didn't pay him to say it either. He said it himself. And it's the positive thinking. And my daughter said, I think being thankful. So to me, if they've been able to instill these, even if it's subconsciously, it's good. It will make them happier people on this earth that's full of challenges.
Zuleyha, as usual, you speak an awful lot of sense. Thank you for bringing some inner calm and some inner peace to a very busy program, Ramadan Conversations.
Thanks,
Ramadan
George.
Mubarak again.